Alright guys, everybody here that's watching this video probably needs help on getting followers or likes on Instagram. And it's really not a hard tactic to do. It's really not hard, but it takes a little bit of time. And Instagram isn't something that is really easy to get popular on. Like it used to be where if you wanted a shout out, you just asked somebody and they'd give it to you. And if no matter didn't followers or anything didn't matter. So the people that have had their Instagram for a long time have a lot of followers. But every now and then there's somebody that comes along that hasn't had it very long and still gets a lot of followers really quick. And that's probably because they either know somebody that has one that's really popular or they're in a group of people that have it. But most of the time, if you're just like posting pictures of just random things or you're just posting pictures of yourself or something on Instagram and you haven't had your Instagram very long, you're not going to be very popular. And you just have to grow it. This is going to take a lot of time and a lot of really hard work. And pretty much some ways to make a great Instagram is you got to be very patient in what you're doing, because it's really hard to just you can't just do it in like 2 weeks and expect 1,000 followers. It's not gonna happen like that. You're gonna have to work on it every day, every few hours. You're gonna have to post a picture or something. I mean, it's got to be something that you've really got to be worked on. I mean, you gotta have time to do things like this. If you're not already popular, you gotta put a lot of effort into it. Another thing is you need to communicate with your followers, and you communicate people with who aren't following you to try to get more followers and to keep your followers keep them following you pretty much. Because if you don't communicate with them, you don't like any of their pictures, you don't do anything, you don't. I'm not saying you have to follow them back, but I'm saying like maybe get like a kick or something and kick them back or something. Do something like that. Some way of communicating with them, and that way they'll stay on. They won't unfollow you or anything. They'll stay on your page, and you'll have a lot more followers in the end. Another thing is you really got to work on your page a lot. Get a you got to get a pretty good amount of pictures on your Instagram. You can't just have about 10 or 12 pictures and expect a lot of followers unless you've just had your account for a long time. You have to post maybe one picture every day or every 2 days at least. It's better to post them maybe once every few hours, but if you don't have the time for that, or you just don't want to do that, then do it once every 1 or 2 days, and that'll really help you. Also, make sure you get high quality items. Don't. I'm not saying it's bad to use like an iPhone for pictures, but they're not the best. But you can get popular for using just an iPhone. It's really easy to use an iPhone, and it's just a whole lot easier to use it than a camera or anything. So I can understand why people would use their iPhone or something, some sort of phone that they have that has a camera on it. But the quality isn't as great. So it's better to have quality over quantity. And if you want quality, you're gonna have to pitch in some money to get a good camera. And I know that takes a lot of money for people that don't have it. It might be better for you to stick to your phone, or just not try to get popular on Instagram. I'm not saying that you have to have money to be popular on Instagram, but I'm saying it's easier to use a camera and get popular because you're having quality, really good, high definition images. And when people see that, they're going to start following you. Think, oh, this guy's, he's really into what he's doing. He's really got good pictures. I'd like to follow him. If you have blurry pictures or pictures that they can't really see very well, or just bad pictures in general, then they're not going to follow you usually, unless you just have a lot of followers already. Which in this case, if you're watching my video, you probably don't. So, it's a drawback. I had an account, if you're wondering, I had an account that had about almost 27,000 followers, which isn't much compared to a lot of people, but it didn't take me very long to get that far. It took me maybe 2 months, and that's pretty good for 2 months. But I had that many, and my account got hacked. So pretty much, if somebody's trying to ask for your information or anything about your account, don't give it to them, because they're probably gonna hack it, and you don't want people hacking your account because you can't get it back. Once you delete an account on Instagram, you can't get it back. It's done. And somebody hacked into my account and took my information and deleted my account while they were into it. So I don't have it anymore. But I had made another one. I've only had it for about 2 weeks. But I already have almost 700 followers, and that's pretty good for 2 weeks, considering I haven't really posted many pictures, and they're not great pictures right now because I sold my camera when I lost my other Instagram, and so I'm trying to get money to get one back. But I do recommend you doing everything I've said, and I promise you your account will be a lot more successful, and you might be able to get really popular off of it. I'm not saying you will. I'm saying it'll really help you. And a lot of people use the hashtag thing on their pictures where you just put all the hashtags on your pictures so people will notice it. And that's not a bad idea. If you want likes and maybe some more followers, that's not a bad idea because people will look at your page more if you do that. But I do recommend that if it does stay on your picture, you need to delete it later. Otherwise, people might think that that's all you're doing to get your likes, and you want to get people thinking that you get a lot of likes from that legitly and not from the hashtags. So if you can delete those later or just not do it in general, that's a great idea too, because you don't want people thinking that you're depending on hashtags to get likes, because that sets off a bad tone. But I do recommend you using it a little bit, especially when you start out, because it'll get people to start following you, and you have a lot of likes on your pictures at first when you first use it. But later, when you have maybe 1,000 followers or more, I would leave it to not using any anymore, because that way you can see how many likes you can get legitly. Maybe it might help you mentally more than your actual account, but you can do anything you want about that. That's not really anything that will make your account worse. It can only make it better. So if you want to do that, you can. It's not a bad one. Just look up a video on how to do that. Just type in hashtags on Instagram and you'll probably find something about it. But that's really all you need to do. Just make sure that you have a lot of good quality images and you post daily or hourly, and you just work on it a whole lot, and I promise you your account will be very successful, and you'll really like Instagram because the people on there are really nice. And when you get a certain amount of followers, you're gonna have a few people that are hating on your account. Maybe if you're posting pictures of yourself too many times, they'll start saying, why are you doing that? You're ugly or something like that. Or if you're just posting a lot of pictures of just random things or just pictures they don't like in general, then they're just going to probably talk about it and probably comment on it, but don't take it deeply. You have to have a very open mind if you're trying to get popular on Instagram, because you're going to have a lot of people that don't like you, but you're just going to have to live with it. I mean, that's part of it, is just ignoring the haters and liking your followers and respecting them, but just don't think of them. They're nothing to you. And if anything, if they're probably following you, if they're commenting on you, so they're actually helping you still. So you don't really have to be mean to them. It's actually better just not say anything back. But just ignore them, and I promise you your account will be very successful. Just work on it from day to day, and in a few months you might have over 1,000 followers or 10,000 followers. I know one guy that I'm really good friends with, and I helped him on his account. Now he's got over 100,000 followers. He has a lot of pages, a lot of pictures that go to the popular page. I mean, he's a really popular guy on Instagram, and I haven't asked for any help from him because I helped him in the first place, but I'm not asking for anything to return the favor. But I'm saying that I really do know what I'm talking about. This guy has really got a great account, and I really just think that y'all should listen to me about this information because it's really going to help you. And that's really all I got. So I really hope this has helped you out, and I'll put my Instagram in the description, and I'm not saying you have to like it because you really don't have to, but if you do, that's great anyways. But I'll put it in the description, and good luck to your account.